For many of us, teaching hours may have decreased. Maybe not. But I find that I normally start planning next year at this time of year, the spring, so that I have less work to do in the summer. This is the second video in a series of what to do while you're in quarantine teaching to get organized for the next school year. Last week we talked about creating a teacher budget, and if you haven't watched that already, there will be a link to that at the end of the video. This week we are going to look at organization, and we're going to divide it into 3 areas: D, P, Y. Why? Stay tuned. So if you are new to this channel, my name is Lorianne and I've been a teacher for 22 years, and this year has been like no other. We still need to get organized for next year, and there are ways that we can get organized without actually being in our classrooms. So the first area we're going to look at is D. D is for digital. Clean your school email. When I say clean your school email, I'm not saying delete it all, because that's not good either. Put your emails into file folders. Create file folders such as admin, teacher teams, or just team, depending on what your school calls them, families, class photos, curriculum ideas, field trip ideas, Pro-D ideas. One thing I do is when I name the file folder, I always put the year in front of it. So right now my files say 1920 and then whatever the word is. This helps you a lot over the years because you don't want to be spending hours looking for that one email and you can't quite remember where you put it. Let's save ourselves some time. You might want to find out from your school secretary or the admin how long you should be keeping correspondence. At the previous schools I've been at, they always recommend 1 year. And then after you've got all those files set up, why not take the time to set up 2021 folder? It'll be, again, one last thing you do before September or whenever your school month starts. That's D. P. The letter P stands for physical files and boxes. Now, if you have absolutely everything at school, can't do this one. If you do not, teacher organization is a mountain of stuff, but it's conquerable. Now is a good time to start reflecting upon what is working with your organizational systems and what is not. Don't be surprised that you change your organizing every 3 to 5 years, because it depends on the grade, it depends on the style of teaching that you do. There's too many little factors out there that one system will not work for everybody. I have been recommended so many different organizational systems, and I will try them, and then I try and pick the best out of that system and incorporate it into my own. I'll show you the different components of it, and again, take what's going to work for you and leave the rest. When we're talking about physical files, we're talking about filing cabinets, binders, storage cases, baskets, and magazine holders. When I started teaching, I started with a box. I started with a box to hold my files, and then I purchased a 2-drawer filing cabinet, which lasted not long. And then I purchased this blue filing cabinet, probably my 2nd year of teaching. I picked up this filing cabinet a couple years after that. The thing was, I had changed grades 5 times in 5 years. I taught a grade 1, a 2, 3, a 2, a 3, then back to 1, 2. And I kept everything. I'm not a hoarder. What I did initially is I just had literally everything in a vanilla and file folder, and then what I started doing is I started color coding files. Blue was social studies, red was math, pink was English language arts. So as you can see, I still have some of them. Some of these are empty, some of these are filled with junk. I have moved over to the next one, which is binders. So as I've been slowly moving over to binders, when I set up the binder, I put things in order as to how I'm going to teach them. So for example, in this addition to 20 binder, I have right at the front a pretest that I always give to kids before I start a unit. And then I have a little layout of all the things that I'm going to teach during this unit. And then I sometimes it's at the back, I have a master booklet already made sitting here ready to go. For some of them, and again, it depends on how well they do on the pretest, But then what I will do is I will take that booklet, I will maybe make some fixes to it, or leave it as it is and then teach from them. So this is ready to go. And I use the clear folders and I put things on both sides so that I can see them. It's easier to see this way, I find personally. The only thing that I would change with these right now is I'm thinking of changing the spine labels to different colors, much like I did with the file folder. For storage cases, I have two main ones. I have these, which are Sterilite containers, and what is great about them is that when you open them up, they can hold a letter size file folder. This is when I'm redoing my March right now. What I do with these is I put in the things that you will do every single year for that month. I will have, if we do sports day in May or June, it will be in the May or June one. I put scholastic orders in each month. I will put, we have a Terry Fox run in September, it's in the September one. I have a lot of things. The September one is full, and actually I have now an August one, and I moved, so the things that I want to set up for the beginning of the year is in an August one. I have coloring sheets for the month. I have crafts that are seasonal, they go into these as well. So anything that happens every single year without fail goes into one of these. Then I have these type of cases. These I got at Michael's, but you can probably find them in different places. I have two colors. Mint green. I put all my theme books, picture books in here, and these are the books, picture books that are going to go on the shelves, and then I just put them right back in here when the season is over. And then I also have a clear one, and the clear one is for big art projects for certain themes. So for example, I have one for Apple. I have certain animals, science experiments, social studies units, where they'll hold mini posters, they'll hold bigger art projects, things like that. There's another video that you'll see me talk about organization, more of this, the other baskets, that I will put a link, card will show up here, and you can watch later. When I didn't have a lot of money starting out, I did a lot of things in magazine folders. I still have remnants of them in magazine folders because I'll find booklets and things in Duotang, certain teacher catalogs I put in things like this. I'm starting to cull, and that's basically what I'm recommending you're doing at this time of the year when you're home, is to go through all these baskets and all these cases and file folders and things and start just culling. You might not know if you want to be teaching the grade you're teaching this currently next year, or maybe you know for sure that you're teaching it next year. If that's the case, then I cull that way. If you are changing grades and you know you're changing grades, then cull again. When I taught grade 3, I was pretty sure I was going to be eventually going back to grade 1 because I love grade 1. Even when I was teaching grade 8, I knew I was going to eventually go back to grade 1. Now, at this stage of the game, you know, maybe another 10 to 15 years left of teaching, there's a good chance that I'm probably going to stay in primary. That's one reason why I keep grades. For some of you, I would love to say you need to be ruthless and cull everything, but for others of you, I'm just going to say you know, use your discretion, use your common sense, because you know what you need. One of the other things that I've used with the magazine holders is when I'm low on cash, I use these for the kids' book bin because they're pretty sturdy. They can hold several books. They will hold a pretty good size picture book. I will have another video on my book organization. I wonder if it's coming up in one of these videos for this series. We'll talk about books in another video. And the last one is why. Why is for you. You should create a plan for you, a schedule for how you are going to go about your day. What time are you going to get up? Are you going to be preparing your lunch the night before or the morning of? Are you going to go in just for your contract hours, or are you going to go in an hour earlier? Are you going to stay 2 hours later? Thinking about this now will in some ways mentally prepare you for when it eventually happens. My regular wake-up time during school is 5 a.m. I spend between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. getting ready. You may not want to you might not want to get up that early. That's fine. During the summer, I usually get up at 6 a.m. And then as we get close to the week or two before school starts, then I start changing the clock to 5:30, and I slowly back it up to get to 5, so that when that first week of school hits, I'm not really tired because suddenly I'm living by an alarm clock. I'll live by that alarm clock, 2 weeks before school starts. I also plan to be at school for 1 to 2 hours after my contract hours so that I don't have to bring work home with me during the weeknights. I do have a video available, the work that I do on the weekends, and I will link it. There'll be a card up there somewhere and you can watch that afterwards. Also, as part of You Care, try to create a schedule around physical activity. That's one of the reasons why I get up at 5. I will exercise 15 to 20 minutes before breakfast, and so that it's done. So plan your organization now. You'll be thankful come the summer, and you'll even be more thankful when school gets going, knowing that that part is already out of the way. Next week's video is going to be on organizing your books. Should be fun. If you've received any value from this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Click that like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.